Teacher may have lecture. Admit the first part. We don't eat meat and meditation in 1 week before the week. Right? So we must to don't eat meat 1 week before the day. Right?
The week before, we have to have vegetarian diet, meditation every day, no sex. And ideally, guys, the week before you have to try to cleanse everything, and on the day you don't wear any artificial stuff on you. All the fabric has to be natural, ideally linen or cotton.
Okay? Got it.
On the way to the side, you notice anything that is happening unusual, things, occurrences. Later on, you write it down, because as you build your practice, you will see this as a sign language, how the universe talks to you through those signs, and the standard ones are like, many practitioners mention this. Trucks in front of you. This is like common, okay? The root obstacle. Or you won't be able to park. Or you won't be able to find this place easily because they've got the entrance from a different street, not where the address says. Things like this. Also, the car is not starting. God forbid you have the accident on the way. So that means, actually, don't hire a taxi and go there. It means that you're not allowed. You're not even going to get permission. It's not the site for you to cancel it and say to the client, sorry, I can't. You need to arrive early. Bring all your tools and offerings, fresh flowers, fruits, sweets. Do not rush when unpacking. So don't even think about, I'll buy the flowers on the way. Or I'll pop into the shops and get the sweets on the way. You go directly from home to the site. It's already a ritual. Drive safely, drive very carefully, don't rush, let everybody in front of you, don't be aggressive on the road. What you should wear on the side is also very, very important. On average, space clearance takes between 2 to 3 hours. Just the ceremony. Plus packing and unpacking time. Plus talking to the client after. Plus to get there, to get back. So this is a whole day exercise. And this is why when we do it for clients, it can't be cheap. There is no way it can be cheap. Okay? So at the beginning, maybe you will be just asking for a donation while you don't have experience. But it is a premium service, and you need to be very comfortable, very confident. You don't want to look like you're struggling if you're charging the total. Okay? Because it just makes sense. You have to wear cool and comfortable white clothes. The reason white has to be white, does anyone know why it has to be white? Because the white, when it isn't this is blocking, this is reflecting back anything negative that comes your way. The black color absorbs, because I know that you're all super good, I don't mind absorbing the energy. That's why I'm wearing black. But tomorrow I'll wear white. No, seriously. For the ceremony, guys, you always wear white.
We don't wear white, right?
No, you wear anything you like tomorrow. Nothing at all. I'm not conservative. You do whatever you want.
I'm not very white, you have to go shopping after class.
Okay, so no matter what your fashion preference is, never ever wear short, mini clothes for space skills. Because for women, your foundational chakra, which corresponds to earth element, needs to be protected. You can't wear anything that is exposing the body chakra, okay? So it has to be low clothes, for men as well. Protective jewelry and talismans, prepare and before. Cleansing, we'll be talking about how to cleanse. no shoes during the ceremony. So if it's safe to wear no shoes, there like scorpions or snakes, because in Australia it's possible that there are snakes in the garden, or ticks. So if it's safe, ideally you should wear no shoes. I mean, you don't leave house without shoes and drive with no shoes. But once you're on the side, take your shoes off. Long hair. If you have long hair, you have to wear it according to your tradition. Some traditions say that if you have long hair, and that goes for both men and women, if you have long hair, normally in life you wear them in a kind of gathered manner, like a ponytail or plait or anything, but it's not like loose. But then during the esoteric practice, you loosen them up because this is your magic power. So some traditions say that. Some traditions say opposite. You wear them normally loose, but then you have to collect them during the ceremony so that nothing attaches to your hair. So whichever tradition you follow, do that. My personal preference would be to have them tied during the ceremony because we have the important chakra here as well, and you don't really want to be affected. So when you have the lower ponytail, you protect the chakra. Both for men and women, that's safe for all here. Okay, and now we're talking about how to ask the guardians of the land for permission to conduct this experience. So you go there and you set up the altar in the garden. You make offerings. You make a prayer, ask for permissions. There are 3 parts to asking for permission: who, what, and why. And then you say thank you after this basically is finished. Praying to the guardians of the land. Firstly, you do the greeting. And what you say is this: the guardians of the land, the spirits and deities, I am greeting you. That's how you start. Not hello, the guardians of the land. Then you have to introduce yourself, who you are. My name is, and you say your real name, not Facebook name, okay? Your real name, the one you were given by your parents. If you have any secret names, then you say your secret names. Okay? Then offerings, okay? Please accept these humble offerings of food, wine, tea, whatever, in acknowledgement of your power over this land. You express the respect first. You respect them before you ask for anything. Give first, then you ask for something. And then you ask for permission. I'm asking for permission to do space clearance on this site because my clients need help because their child is not sleeping. Their child is sleeping. So you have to list a reason clearly. Don't give the shopping list. Because they're not sleeping, they are fighting, they need the money, he's been demoted, and his wife wants to divorce him. Okay? Just 1 or 2 reasons, not more. Maximum 3. Make sure you wait for permission. This is an important point. If you're doing the divination, and you were used to doing meditation for that, so your intuition is sharp, that's the state of mind you tune into this point, okay? So, ask for permission to do space clearance on the site because the child is not sleeping. And then you stay silent, closed eyes. And you are kind of like tuning into what's happening around you, keeping a check on how you feel. At this point, you may feel like that's what I feel. Either kind of a warm embrace, or there is a like passage of energy start going from the ground through your body gradually. It feels warm. At any rate, it feels pleasant, it feels good, but there's always a degree of warmth. If you start feeling here, nauseous, like as though somebody punched you in the solar plexus, like you can't breathe, that means no. Go. And if that's what you feel, you say thank you very much, you bow, you finish this, and then you say to the client, sorry, I can't do it. And you go back. And there is no compromise here. Okay, guys, with this practice, with anything to do with the nature elements, spirits, deities, magic, there is no compromise. Okay? If they say no, if you don't feel good about going ahead, don't do it. Okay? That would be cheaper for you, for the long run. I've never had not being allowed. Okay? But I know how it feels when you get to certain places, like I know the feeling when there is something with the earth energy that you should not be there. I know that feeling because I get to many places, in different scenarios. But when I go for space clearance, I always get yes. However, I imagine that there could be situations in which I would get no. For example, I don't really feel good at centers. And this is how I know I'm not allowed to do any work for graves, centers, or anything like that. We went after the International Feng Shui Conference for the tour and the center here in Singapore. That was the old center. And basically, I had to get out of that place like in 3 minutes. I just felt so bad. I felt like, so I just feel them. Other people were okay. I feel everything around me. So, yeah, that's how you feel. You definitely will know that you're not allowed. Okay. So you wait for permission, you start meditating, connecting with the guardian of the land, you will know. And then when you feel that it's right, it feels good, thank for permission 3 times, bow 3 times. How you bow 3 times, okay? Because you're holding the incense, you'll be doing the same thing as you do in Chinese temple, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, okay, 3 times. And then after that you bow 3 times, touching the ground, not the leaves. Not your shoes, not the pavement, touching the actual ground, okay, 3 times, very good. And then you say, I am now asking for support and protection, and bow 3 times. So this is actually now the beginning of this. All the preparation, all the setting up has to be done when you arrive on site, before you do space clearance. You don't do praying to the deities in the garden and then you start setting out altar inside. There are 2 altars. One is inside, the one we're holding here, and one is outside. The outside is the simpler one. You can put crystals, you can put symbols you're praying to, but if you just put offerings and incense, it's okay for outside, okay? Because all you need is to do the offerings, show respect, ask for permission, you want it, that's it, go inside. And inside there is an altar. Before going to the house to do actual space clearance, you need to create protective energy veil around your body with a white sage smoke. We will do it this afternoon. Okay, I'll show you exactly how it's done, because I'm sure you don't understand what I'm talking about, right? So today you will all get the veil around your body. I'll make sure that you do. This is very important because you get the protection for your aura before you start it. At the altar inside the house, you will be lighting up the black candle. The red candles, you can light up like at any point. It doesn't matter. You can light up all three starting together, red, and then black. Okay? But red can be like as you are setting up the altar, it's okay, you can light up red candles. If you're not allowed to do it, you just extinguish them and go. Yes, Francis.
Must it be black candle?
Must be black.
It's hard to find a black candle.
I know. We'll talk about this. Don't worry. All the problems are done, because I've done it so many times. Don't worry, I'll answer all the questions. It'll be fine. So, at the altar inside the house, light up the black candle with the client's message attached to it with a natural fiber thread. The candle needs to be prepared early. So what you don't want to happen is arriving to the site, and that happens many times. And the client, who's a big CEO or something like that, big business owner of the shop or something, says, "Oh, Anna, hang on a second, I didn't write that message." And I'm like, you stand and wait. You don't want to praise the flow. So you have to actually be a bit annoying at the night before. "Oh, sorry, darling, I'm just checking whether you prepared your note for the candle." Because you don't want to wait for half an hour. And because they are doing it in the last minute, they are not thinking clearly, they are putting the whole list, so you end up with a big paper. And if he's an important guy, you don't tell him, "Well, you know what, it has to be like half of it. Can you please cut?" You don't want to upset them. So you make sure that it's ready the night before. Or if they say, "Oh, sorry, I forgot it. Okay, can you please do it in the morning before I arrive?" Why do we have to use the natural thread? Because when you burn something, it is artificial, it will smell. The whole house will smell of plastic, burnt plastic, which is not a nice smell. Very important. See, it's basically there are all these little details which you read and you don't think twice, but they're crucial if you get them wrong, on the day. So light up 9 incense sticks there. Or frankincense, or the charcoal in a bowl. We'll do the demonstration this afternoon. Start from the entrance and move along the perimeter of the house in anti-clockwise direction. Make sure smoke gets into all the corners, all cupboards, every room, including toilets, bathrooms, storage areas. Go outside and discard the incense sticks. So you can use either 9 incense sticks or the charcoal, it doesn't matter, it's your preference. And sometimes you come across people who want to participate, let's say you're doing it for a private house, like you're doing it for your sister, for relatives. And they say, "Oh, I'd like to participate." If she's okay, like energetically stable, not crazy, then you say, "Okay, you'll be holding incense sticks, I'll be holding the frankincense, or charcoal, or the other way around." So it's like you get more smoke, and in that respect it's good. But you have to make sure the person is not annoying, doesn't talk too much, so that you can focus. Give something. "Okay, so what do we do now?" They put this anxiety, which is natural. They've never done it before. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what to expect. So you make sure that person is suitable for this thing to accompany you. So the first step is really very easy. All you need to remember now that you go anti-clockwise. Why anti-clockwise? Because anti-clockwise, you're cleansing, you're removing the existing energy. Anything that is there is going to be sent out, neutralized. Okay? So that's the first step. This is the client's candle. Okay? This is a list. Okay? So you can see the list of things written here. Then you wrap it around and you secure it with a rope. making sure that it's actually secure, it's not gonna fall. And you would be putting it in a dish or a bucket or a bowl, like a soup bowl, with salt, sand, or rice. I usually use sand, to be honest. I think sand is the best. But equally salt is good. I don't like using rice. And the reason for that, I'll show you in a few minutes later on the video, that sometimes when the candle burns, it starts actually burning and cooking that rice, and you end up with a black soup. Yeah, I've taken the video because before I left, I was doing something like this. So, this is what we'll be doing this afternoon. This is a charcoal with the frankincense. Okay. Make sure that you have enough of placemats or wooden things that you don't burn the surfaces, because many houses have something that is sensitive. You don't want to leave the black marks or heat marks or something. I use either that sort of dish or this one, or in the bed there is another one. Okay, so you can use either, whichever you can find. In my house, I have maybe 4 or 5 of these ones of different size, and so it's not always you have to do in your house like foods and skills. You can just do maybe one room, you can light up in the kitchen, especially like if you have a fire, let's say in the living room, you just light it up in the living room and leave it there. If you don't have time for the whole space, because maybe you need to go to work. But try to clear something that you don't like as soon as you can. There is another device for space clearance. I'll show you. We'll do all of this in the afternoon demonstration. That you make it really hot on the stove, and then you dip it into the seeds, such as you have, and the seeds stick to it. So that you hold that thing on the plate and you walk around it also as a pet. Okay, so that's how it works. So that should be the video. Can you see that it's actually boiling? That is rice for you, okay? So that is a black candle with a big couple of crystals of salt on a rice foundation. Okay? No, not the charcoal, no. This is a black candle. I'll show you. I've got all of it to show you this afternoon. So we're just going through the ritual so that you understand the entire structure, and then we'll be looking at details because there are so many details. So second stage, after you went in anti-clockwise, you go back inside and you check the altar for safety. This is extremely important. Why? Because the black candles, to my experience, sometimes burn very quickly, sometimes they fall, sometimes they burn unevenly. You need to notice what's going on. For example, in one office, I was using black and red candles of the same size. I bought them in the shop, they're the same size. Okay? So the black one burned in 10 minutes, and the red one was burning in 1.5 hours. And the reason for that is that obviously there was so much negativity, there was so much fuel for that black candle to absorb, and it burned so quickly. I could hardly have enough time to walk through the office, come back, it's already done. It was actually starting burning the glass, because the glass, they used something in the office that was like plastic, which shouldn't happen, but anyway, that was the only thing that was tall enough to secure. and it started actually like melting the top of the glass. It was with salt, so I had to extinguish it really quickly and set the next candle. Okay, so you really have to check the black candle is fine always. If you find that it burns slowly, it actually means that it is not really that much. So it's okay. The black candle at some point will extinguish, but the next candle colored one, which could be red or yellow, depending on what we're trying to achieve, will leave it burn to the end. If we finish the entire ceremony, we go home, we just ask the client to keep an eye on it. We don't extinguish it, we don't have to worry about it. But the black one, we worry about this, okay? So go back and check. Let the black candle continue burning while you're preparing for the second round, but not longer. Note what's happening with the candle, and once you're ready to proceed, remove it from the altar. Discard it appropriately outside. Another tip, like practical tip, make sure the bin or small bucket with rock salt for candle disposal is set far away from your garden altar and not too far from the entrance. Because each time you go back and do something, you want to come out, dispose it, and maybe go back. You don't want to look for rubbish bin. You don't want to dispose it in the kitchen. Disposal is very important so it doesn't disrupt your flow when you are moving. Okay? So you've thrown away the black candle now, and you put it in the salt. You don't put it in the bin with other rubbish, with papers in it, right? With the potato peel, only in the salt. You go to the center of the house with a bell or a singing bowl. How many of you have singing bowls? Excellent. Okay, they are quite expensive. You don't have to get them straight away for space bills. Just get yourself a nice bell, which usually is not expensive. High pitched, doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to be fancy, antique, anything, for as long as the pitch is clear and high. That's all you need, okay? We're going to be practical whenever you can. Go to the center of the house with a bell and do meditation. You may like to put a small rug and a bowl with sand for incense on the floor before starting the second round. So please know that this is also done before you start the ceremony. You prepare one altar. You prepare at the center of the house the small rug. You put the bowl with sand for incense there, okay? Because we put incense at some point. So everything has to be on the stage. Set up for ceremony has to be done good. Okay. And after you have finished the meditation, so you do the meditation, after you finished it, you ring the bell 3 times loudly and let the sound fade away. So bang, wait. Then bang, wait. Okay, 3 times. And after that is done, this is the bell I'm using. Okay, so that's the sound. It's really very good for space buildings. So if you can get something like this in antique store, actually like we bought it in the market. Now we continue. You close your eyes after you ring 3 times. You close your eyes and you connect with your own heart chakra, and you tune intuition, starting to feel which direction you'll be going into now. Your body will tell you where to go, whether you're going to be clockwise or anti-clockwise. So you become a center of the spiral that you're going to be opening up in that house. So this is your human chi connecting with the side. You open your eyes and start releasing the spiral inside the house. You will need to follow your intuition as far as the direction is concerned. At this point, you will be directed by the guardian of the house. Keep ringing the bell. Because two forces, are the most powerful for space cleansing, and that is light and sound. There is no force that wouldn't obey the light or sound. And here we'll be using sound because light we are already using. Keep ringing the bell. The intensity and the volume of the sound should correspond to what you feel. If you feel that you need the intensity really be loud, if you feel that you should be quite gentle, then do that. Once again, you need to go into every room of the house. When you have reached the entrance, go back inside and put the bell on the altar inside, saying thank you. Go outside, light up 7 incense sticks, and place them at the center of the house where you did meditation, or leave at the altar, whichever is practical. Okay? So what I usually do, I go back to the center where I did meditation, and there is already a bucket prepared. I stick it there at the center of the house, at the heart of the house. There is all this smoke goes out everywhere. Okay? In stage 3, at the altar inside the house, you light up the yellow for wealth, red for vitality or general good luck, green for health. Later on, I give you the whole list of colors for candles for different purposes. So whichever color candle you'll be using, with the client's message attached to it. So the first message will be what the client is trying to get rid of. For example, they're writing, the conflict and arguments is no longer a part of my life. For the black candle. For the colored candle. The opportunities to create wealth are entering my life. I get more opportunities, I get promotion, something of that sort for wealth, okay? But don't input everything in one bucket. If it's a red candle, if client is doing it for the first time, so that would be, I feel strong to embrace the changing coming to my life, embracing the new opportunities and good luck. Okay, for the red, it's more of a general good luck. It's not specific. My health gets better, the girlfriend loves me. Okay. Then you go outside. Yeah. Sorry.
Now I just like to reconfirm. So inside the house at the altar there will be a black candle and a yellow candle. With the client's notes. Because I saw here.
No, the black candle we have extinguished before going to do the stage 2. Okay?
So there should be 2.
Let's go back. Yeah, I know there are many steps. It can be a bit.
So there should be 2 similar notes.
2 notes about different things. For black one is about what they are trying to get rid of. For red one, what they are trying to welcome into their life. Okay? And each time we burn it and send it to heaven. Yes? Did everyone get it? Or it wasn't clear? So with the stage 2, the black candle is burned until we start actually meditation starts. So when we start the stage 2, we go to the center of the house, the black candle is not there. It's removed and disposed. So we do meditation, And then we do the spiral, and then we leave the incense, we go outside, we do 7 incense sticks, and then the stage 3. We light up the new candle, red, green, yellow, whichever. We light up 9 incense sticks, and this time we go in a clockwise direction. Okay? When we finish, we stick the remaining burnt incense into the ground anywhere near the entrance or in a garden pot. If you have a plant, you stick there. Can you see we have all these different pots with incense, with smoke around the pot. You go back into the house, take a bell, walk in a clockwise direction, ringing the bell. You need to feel the intensity of the house. Go outside, ring the bell 3 times, looking inwards at the entrance, at the door. So you've actually done the space clearance by now. You look inside, ring 3 times to finalize it, and you go to the garden altar. Place the bell there. Okay? The bell goes in the altar inside. Then it goes outside. Place the bell there, say thank you. Take the water with cathode line oil, and that water is stated, sprinkle bottle, standing on the table with props. It's not on the altar. Okay? So you got the bottle prepared. Don't go to the open the top, all ready. You prepare it at home. You go inside the house and move in clockwise direction, sprinkling the water with cathode line oil everywhere. Okay? Just make sure that you go clockwise. Then you go back to the garden altar, light up 3 incense sticks and hold it in your hands. Do a prayer, saying, the guardian of the land, and thank you for support, and thank you for protection, and permission for everything. So you say your own words. And at this stage, you will be taking the offerings from the altar and putting them on the ground. After you finish, you need to make a cleansing veil around your body once more with a white sage smoke outside the property. Now you need to take a shower and get changed. You may need to take notes before talking to the client. You need to do, you may do so during the conversation, discussing the experience with the client after getting showered. So what I do, I go to the shower first, get changed. After that, I talk to the client, and as I talk to the client, I may take some of my notes. Okay? Because there could be certain things that you've noticed, and you're not sure what they mean. You will see later. Okay, you'll do it yourself. Sometimes you may think, well, I could have done this better. Because there's so much to remember, guys. Can you see? You will not be looking at the manual. That's the thing with space clearance. Everything that I said is common sense. Nothing that you thought, oh, I wouldn't think of that, right? But when you go, you have to be automatic. You know, step 1, step 2, step 3, I go there, I go there. It's like actor on the stage. You have no time, okay, so what did she say there, where? No, it has to be by memory. And this is why it's important to do it many times at your place, so that you're comfortable. Then you do it for the people like your relatives, sisters, friends. Then it is not doing for others. Okay? So in a nutshell, this is the ceremony itself. But there are so many details to it. How you understand the fire, what else you can do with fire, what else you can do with salt. So I will be teaching you also the meaning, rituals, when you can't do the full ceremony. And most of you now thinking, Jesus Christ, Anna, that's too much. Yeah? That's too much. I can't do it. Forget it. Forget it. I thought that this is something easy. No, it's actually You can do the mini space clearance in your place just by using one element, and I'll be teaching you lots of kind of tips and tricks how you can minimize it and do it as much or as little as you can under the circumstances. Okay? But this is the full professional ceremony that you will be using when you do it for other people. Yeah.
Because you know, in Singapore we are all living in apartment. There's no garden, so that we do outside the house.
Sorry, it's a plane. I can't hear it. Just wait a second.
We will do it outside the apartment or because
Yes, yeah. I have in this course we have many students who live in city in apartments. So I have this question many times. What you do definitely a prayer to the local guardian of the land, in the area, possibly. This is tricky because you need to do it in such a way that you don't get arrested. Okay? Because somebody may complain, say, what the hell is she doing? So you do it at 5 o'clock in the morning when there is barely anybody walking up and nobody looks through the windows. So you go, you put your offerings around the tree, somewhere in your local area. You hold the incense. You make sure you do it quickly, like of course, if somebody you can see them running, just wait for them to pass, nobody looks at you, put everything on the ground. This way you will not be holding incense because somebody runs into Jesus Christ, the guy's in front of the tree, probably needs to hold the entrance. So you stick the incense in the ground, okay? And then you do the prayer. With, I'm asking permission to support. With the local guardian, like your area, you ask more for support. For general things, you don't give the shopping list, help me to do this and this and that. Okay? You ask for support, you say what your problem is, then you do next prayer to the guardian next to the building. And that's when you ask the permission to clear that side. Yes? Because you'll be clearing the part of your apartment, your space. So for the big guy, you just ask for the support of your energy. So they don't see that you're breaching their control. They are the main ones, right? They control the whole thing. Then the guardian next to your building, you do what I said on that page, exactly what I said. And then you inside the house. So in this case, you will be starting from the balcony door. Yeah? Do you all have balconies? No. Okay. So do what you can under the circumstances. Okay? So you don't leave all the smoke outside next to the neighbor's door so that they complain, set off all the fire alarms and stuff. Do whatever is practical, okay? Maybe use a bit less smoke. Just do with one incense instead of 3. Start somewhere and increase it gradually. The part of the skill for the space clearer is actually modifying the full ritual to the circumstance. Okay, so you have to be creative, you have to be practical, you have to be innovative. Because we don't want to make things worse than they already are. And when people ask you for help, they already have lots of problems. Nobody comes for help when they have just tiny problems. They let humans are such that they accumulate everything, and when all the problems they have, that's when they issue. Start with something. But there are many mini rituals that you will be learning now without setting fire alarms in the entire building, and that you can do for the office and you can do for the shops. So don't worry. If you're alarmed at this stage, this is not the end of the course. I mean, you just reached the lunchtime on day 1. Okay, so there's so much more.
But your outside altar, you have to set up the candles and everything, right?
The bucket here. So if you have the balcony, you use instead of the main entrance, you use the balcony as a main entrance. Okay?
Also, that is considered as outside order.
Yeah, you move from the outside into inside. Okay? Because when you use as an entrance, you apart from the entrance, you enter from the corridor. That's not outside.
So if no balcony, then we have
If no balcony, well, then think of something. Then you do entrance door, but obviously you can't set up the bucket outside because neighbors will complain. If neighbors are good, if they understand what they're doing,
some Singapore cannot put things that you have to go down to.
yeah, so just put it next to the door inside.
Ah.
Guys, by the end of the day too, you will be very clear because I'll give you so much information and the concepts, the principles, that you will understand how to work around the problems. Okay, so don't worry, and we can discuss each of your cases about how to do things. So I'll answer all the questions. And if you still didn't get it, we have a free repeat. And we also have the Space Clearance group on Facebook. So people, like many people there, have done their space clearance already. They understand what happens when you have a partner and they have experience. Okay, so don't worry. Nobody will be left unsupported. So let's continue. The chi calibration inside the house, step 3, can be done with a particular goal in mind, depending on what the house inhabitants would like to achieve. You can be creative in how to approach it. This list can be used as a guide. Determine the goal of the space clearance. I would say that this is very important because sometimes people tend to take things for granted. Okay? So when they say, "Oh, I just want to improve the feeling of the house," I had so many these clients. Somebody wanted me to feng shui consult in their house, which cost $22 million. And I said, "Okay, so what's the issue?" And "Oh, just to improve the feeling of the house." And like, I know what the problem with these sort of clients is they don't have real problems. No matter what you do, they're not going to tell the difference, right? They're not going to be satisfied. They're not going to recommend it to anybody else. So when you go back and ask, "So how did you go?" "Well, it's good. It was good before." So what do? I just say, "Well, if you don't have any problems to resolve, you don't need feng shui consultation." I'm actually very easy with that, like saying like you don't need. I actually don't pick people up, out of it whenever I can, out of these kind of services. I'm not like sometimes people push their service on them. If you don't need it, I would rather help somebody who needs my help, and that really works better. So if they don't have a problem, don't get involved. Because no matter what you do, it's not going to be done in a good job. Okay, don't look disappointed. Money is not worth it if you don't get results. Next one. So when they verbalize the thing, you can see that you have fixed something. So they have health issue. After space clearance got much better because they couldn't be diagnosed. Nobody knew what's wrong with them. Let's put it this way. And they feel immediately much better. Yes, that's an achievement. Tick to you as a practitioner. So, another reason why we need to know what the issue is, that we get the permission to resolve that particular issue. For example, they have a child doesn't want to study, or child is seeing nightmares. So when you're bringing the garden of the land, I'm here to help Mrs. Jones because her child is not sleeping at night. The child is seeing nightmare. I am asking for your permission. So they give you permission to help that child not resolve all their money issues, not remove all the conflict in the family. For that specific day, you're resolving that particular issue. Of course, feeling good will improve. Yes, of course. All the crap will go, but you're not getting involved into something that you're not entitled or you're not allowed to resolve. This is very important. Put the highlighter over this. Make sure you verbalize it when asking the guardians of the land for permission, so you're allowed to use it. Determine the element representing this goal best. So, if it's wealth, it's yellow. If it's vitality, it's red. You will have the thing. Okay, very important. Now we go specific. We are starting the stage with the tools, not just put in candle. Hopefully, things will get better. Determine the most suitable materials and tools to represent this goal at the altar during the ceremony in January. For example, your client is a metaphysics practitioner who is aspiring to become professional in divination. What would represent a divination practice? Maybe the owl, right? So you put something on the altar, in addition to using the right candle, which would be purple, to improve the intuition, the connection with the divine, the ability to read the future. So you choose the symbols of the altar. It's not generic altar you put just back there anybody would like, You start designing the altar specifically for the purpose. Make sure you select appropriate time for the ceremony to support space beyond's objective. For example, if you are after removing the altar, okay, people fight there at each other's throat, what would be the suitable time to remove this? And now we are relying on the lunar calendar because the moon is the closest planet to the Earth. And humans are affected by the moon. We all know this, right? Would you be selecting the period from the new moon to full moon, or from the full moon to new moon? What would be the most suitable time? If you're trying to cleanse. So the moon, black moon, right? Black moon, when it's not visible, this is a new moon. New moon. It grows, right? And becomes full moon. And it wanes and goes back to new moon. Okay, so this is full moon. So it grows and then becomes smaller. And when you're trying to get rid of something, logically, would this be a suitable time or would this be a suitable time? What do you think?
After full moon.
Yes? Okay. So the moon recedes, the energy goes down, and it's easier to cleanse something here. When you're trying to create the business opportunities and make sure that the money grows, the investments improve, you need the flow. So another concept that you introduced today to is that we don't work against the flow, ever. Lunar calendar is very important. So people who start the lunar calendar with me, I think they're very, very clear about each day, what they can do in terms of the magic practice or rituals on every particular day. Okay? But the general concept for you, if you haven't studied it, if you don't want to study, it's okay. Just understand that we involve, embrace, and grow something together with the moon as it grows, and we are eliminating something when the moon is receiving. Okay? Straightforward, very easy. Plus to that, of course, you can use Batsy, you can use Chimen for time selection. That's another thing. but none of that supersedes the lunar influence. Okay, lunar cycle is very, very important. So that's in addition to lunar cycle, you can select and change time block. It's an hour. Compose your own spell or help a client to work their role accurately. It's important. And finalize it. So, if you're looking for yourself, you can create this spell with this candle, with this ceremony. I'm trying to achieve, I don't know, love and harmony. I am hoping to attract a love into my life, or whatever. Yeah, the opportunities you're going, your life will enjoy. So you create kind of a spell. And as you are writing down the spell, so you're setting your mind to that goal, and when you anoint the candle with the oil, you're thinking about it. Your yellow candle, you're after the new job with a higher pay, you're thinking about it, okay? And the candle gets that essential oil coverage, which is put with your energy. Plus, it gets that note with what you're trying to achieve. I hope my boss will give me the promotion, blah, blah, blah. So you need to be very specific with verbalizing. It doesn't have to sound, sound nice. It has to be direct. Because the forces of nature, they're non-human forces, okay? It's not, could you please kindly help me to get promotion? It's, I'm aiming to have promotion. I've got the promotion next month. Something like this, so it's in the present time, okay? Very, very clear, doesn't need many words. If it's a client, and clients usually need help with that because they're not clear what they want. Most people are not clear what they want. I don't think many of us are clear. So the night before you call them, I say, have you prepared the message? And they say, no. Okay, let's work on it. So you help them. So what is your main concern at the moment? And they say, oh, well, actually, there are two. Okay, let's focus maybe on one. Two, it can be when they are related. Let's say promotion and general financial kind of health, right? Financial health. Okay, that's good. It can be financial health and child's nightmares. Okay, you can't put those together. It has to be done on separate days. Because, why? Because you just learned this. For one, we need growing mood. For the other, we need sitting. That's why we can't do it on one day. Okay? Let's go to the next one. Put it in writing and attach to the appropriate candle. You can also draw a relevant symbol on the candle. So what would you draw for the wealth acquisition? Yes? Dollar sign? If you want pounds, you do British pounds, whatever. Up to you yen, Okay, so if you invested in Japan, so you can draw appropriate symbol. How you would draw it? With a needle that gets into the parts. So we're taking now things to the next level, it's stronger, it's more specific. We're lighting a candle up, read the spell or affirmation aloud 3 times to activate. Okay. So this is now I am talking about your own space clearance, not for the client. For the client, sometimes and this is from my experience, happens quite often actually in business environment. People kind of want you to know what you do, but in a way they don't want you to know everything. So at the beginning they kind of say, yeah, I need help with the message, so you help them with the message, and then on the following time, like in 6 months, have you prepared the note? Yes, I'm prepared. Do you need any help? No. So they are already attaching to Black Candle. You're not going to be like, oh, let me open and read it. No, you can't do this. So you take that chance, obviously, but you can't actually. And so that is not for cases like this. For your own use, okay, you can read that spell or affirmation when lighting it aloud. With lighting this candle, I activate my wealth love. I activate my love. I activate my whatever, whatever you want. So a few things in this course I'm giving you for your own practitioners use. Obviously, don't share your clients because this is for you. Because I understand that you are A, knowledgeable, B, strong, 3, ethical. And before you are able to help other people, you need to sort out yourself. This is how we come into practice. We have problems, we resolve them, then we can help others. Conduct the third round, calibrating the chi as described on the previous page. Okay? So this is a bit of a detail into preparation, what else you do. After you finish. Smoking bath we're doing this afternoon.
Do we want to continue this later? Because now it's lunch is here.
It's here. Okay,
So
we can do it
what-
later. We can do it later. Yeah, okay, fine. We can stop. We can finish this slide. Let's finish this slide. 1 minute. So we do the smoking bath, we take shower, we give instruction to house inhabitants, we call them next day to check if they're still alive, after what we've done. 7 days later, we call them, ask for changes, take notes. 7 days later, take the notes, because obviously anything that was supposed to happen already happened. Okay? So you can see the results, you can see how we've done, what we've achieved, what we haven't achieved. Organize your notes for this project, put together your notes 7 days later, and draw the conclusions regarding what could be important in the future. So you can now break for lunch.
When you say smoking bath, I understand. But take shower means you take shower at a kind space.
Yes.
But if it's
Because you don't know what you picked up on. And you could have picked up on anything because they don't tell you A. B, even if they tell you, they probably don't know everything. So if you have picked up something on your way home, you make an accident, that's your fault, okay? Sometimes you can't take a shower, so you take your chances. Smoking bath will deal with most of it, 99%.
yeah.
The chances are slim that you pick something up. However, I'm teaching you what is ideal scenario, and you do what you can. After smoking bath, you take a shower, like very quickly, you just need to get wet. You don't need shampoo, conditioner, facial, Just quickly water, you need the water run over your body, you get changed, you pick up the ceremonial clothes in your car, you don't drive in those clothes, and that's basically your cleansing.
Because sometimes in the Chinese tradition, some might do the space clearance before moving into a new office or before moving into a new house. So in a simple way, sometimes you can take a shower.
Then you just do this smoking bath. Yeah. Do best you can. Do smoking bath and get changed. Sprinkle yourself with the water with cotton lime.
Or just
Yeah, just rinse whatever. Do what you can.